and welcome to another episode of our ContinuousX Podcast, where we strive to solve for X in the SDLC equation. I'm your host, Rick Stewart. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Mike Fitzurka. We welcome back Brian Hajost, Chief Operating Officer at SteelCloud. Welcome back, Brian.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Hey, Brian. From our last episode, I was hoping you could maybe go into a little bit more on compliance and explicitly the implicit and explicit difference between the two for compliance. And like, how does that relate to the CBOM, implicit compliance and explicit?
Yeah. Well, that's a good point, and I think implicit compliance is an area that causes a lot of friction in the whole cyber and authorization process. So out of RMF or out of the ATO process, you have a very explicit specification of this is what was approved. It could be software stack, ports, protocols, exactly what was authorized. So that is explicit. Today, many times, the application goes into production, and if they're using a scanning technology, they scan with generic content. So all my Windows Server 2019s get the same content. They don't differentiate what was authorized. So they were looking for, are there some problematic ports or some software that needs to be patched? And they give the information back, including STIG information, that may have some false negatives, and then it's the A&A people, the authorization and audit people, then have to sort that out and kind of merge it together. So it's much like one system is speaking English, one speaking French, and you have to convert convert back from French to English, and you don't exactly get a translation. So a CBOM is explicit compliance. This is the list that are machine-readable information that we are going to ensure happens in production. So the benefit of using explicit compliance is you've determined the rules coming out of the ATO process. You've enforced the rules in production, and then production, when they're doing their reporting work, reports back to the A&A folks exactly what they were told to do. So you have a closed loop of almost a specification, and that's really what a CBOM is, a specification of exactly what has been approved. That differs, and again, I think it's important when you look at vulnerabilities, there are vulnerabilities that are chosen, internal controls, the rules that you set for yourself, the rules that were authorized, and external. These would be things like patch levels. So again, it's important not to mix the external and the internal, because the internal you can set a specification for, you can remediate in production, you can scan for and report back the exact spec or CBOM that came out of the A&A process.
Is that where certain development teams will develop their own controls or their implicit or explicit list of what they got to comply to, or is that always an external entity that imposes that upon them?
No, it's the rules they set. I mean, if you look at external entities, you have people like DISA for the federal government publishes STIGs. Those are a set of best practices determined by DHS, by NSA, Cybercom, and DISA, as well as the vendor in partnership with the vendors. Those are the overall rules. When it goes through the RMF process, there may be some of those rules can't be set, or an organization has there are an organization rules that additional controls, or they have to be set, more stringent than would be in the generalized STIG. So, the RMF and ATO process determines exactly what generic they're going to accept, what specific rules are going to set, and what is authorized. And so the idea of, a tremendous amount of effort and money is spent there. The idea is to take that good work, reduce it to the CBOM or list, reduce the CBOM to compliance as code, and then enforce that in production and report back in the exact format that the A&A process needs.
That's perfect. And who said compliance couldn't be fascinating? Thanks, Brian, and thank you, your viewers, for your time and attention for this episode. Join us for our next episode where Brian will offer his insights regarding continuous authority to operate. Continuous, that's another X variable in the SDLC equation, which we're trying to solve for.